Hello friend and welcome back. In this exercise we're going to be creating a shopping cart using list in Python. This exercise is actually meant to show you how to use and manage list elements in Python. So let's go ahead and get started. So for this our shopping cart, we're going to be needing at least some lists. So let's go ahead and create a list called food or foods and set it to an empty list. And we're going to come down below here and create another list of prices and set it to an empty list as well. And then lastly, we're going to create a total variable, a variable that we're going to be storing our total of the food that we are buying. So we're going to set it to 0. Let's come down below here and we're going to want to put our prompt within our while loop. So let's go ahead and say while true. Remember, our while condition will only execute when the condition evaluates to true. So we are basically setting it to true directly, and this loop will loop forever because it will always be true. But at some point within our loop, we need to find a way to exit out of our loop. And I'm going to be showing you how to do that in a second. So let's go ahead and now enter our while block. And within our while block, we're going to prompt the user to enter the food he wanted to buy. So let's go ahead and say food is equals to input like so, and our prompt is going to be enter the food to buy, enter the food to buy. And then right here we're going to give the user a chance. Let's say enter Q to quit. Alright, so basically when the user enters Q, we're going to exit out of our loop. So this is basically the point where we exit out of our infinite loop. Otherwise, our loop is going to be infinite. So now after our prompt, based on the input that the user typed in, now let's come over here and say if our food, that means the information that the user typed in, either Q or the food he wanted to buy, is equal to Q. If the user enters Q, then we go ahead and break out of our loop. Remember the break statement, it will go ahead and exit out of our loop. So whenever the user enters Q, we're going to exit out of our loop. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and say else. That means if the user enters anything apart from Q, we're going to go ahead and prompt him to enter the price of that thing that he enters. So we're going to go ahead and say price is equals to float. We're going to typecast our price to floating point number and input. And our prompt is going to be enter the price of food. Alright, we're going to go ahead and put a unit of currency like so. And of course this should be an F string like so. Now our placeholder and variable is recognized. So after getting all the foods that the user wanted to buy, we're going to go ahead and now store them inside of our empty set right here called foods. So we're going to go ahead and do that using the append method. Remember the append method from our list method. So we're going to go ahead and say foods dot append, and inside of our output we're going to pass the food that the user enters, which is this food right here. Paste it right here, and then we're going to go ahead and add our price inside of our prices list right here. All right, we're going to go ahead and say prices. Let's go ahead and copy our empty list, copy this, paste it, dot append, and we're going to append our prices right here. Paste this right here. All right, now let's go ahead and test our program. We're not done yet, but let's go ahead and test it. Let's say print foods, and let's go ahead and print our prices, something like this. Now let's go ahead and run our script. All right, enter the food to buy, enter Q to quit. So let's go ahead and now first of all quit our program. Let's go ahead and test that. If we go ahead and enter Q, hit enter. All right, so as you can see now, as we enter Q, we of course exit out of our loop right here. So this condition worked really fine. We said if food is equals to Q, break. That means we exit out of our loop. Alright, as you can see now we have our empty list. We didn't store anything. Now let's go ahead and run our script once again. And this time around we're going to enter a food to buy. So let's go ahead and say we wanted to buy pizza. Enter the price of pizza. Let's say 2.44. Enter. enter food to buy. So it's asking us to enter another food because we can buy multiple foods. So this is the idea of putting our prompt inside the while loop right here. So it's going to continue prompting the user to enter a food to buy until the user exit the loop using Q. So now let's go ahead and add another food to buy. Let's say chips. All right, enter the price of chips. Let's say 3.99 and enter the food to buy again. Let's say soda. Hit enter the price of soda. Let's say $6 and then enter. All right, we're gonna stop from here, enter the food to buy. This time around we're gonna quit, so let's go ahead and say Q, hit enter. All right, as you can see, we exit out of our loop and we have our pizza, chips, soda stored inside of our food list, and here's our prices stored inside the prices list as well. So now that we have this information, we can now go ahead and print our card. So let's go ahead and now get rid of this. Let's actually minimize this. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and add some decorative text. Let me use asterisk like this and say your card, something like this. All right, and now after this I'm gonna go ahead and say for food in foods, we're gonna loop through our foods list and we're gonna print our food like so. All right, and after that we're gonna go ahead and print our prices. So let's say for price in prices, let's say total is equals to total plus price, or we can simply use the shorthand assignment operator and say instead of total is equals to total plus price, we're gonna say plus equals to price. Total is plus equals to price. So now all our prices inside the prices set right here will be summed and stored inside total. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and print our total. So we're going to go ahead and say print your total is, let's add the unit of currency, and we're going to use an F string for this one as well. So let's go ahead and add our placeholder and say your total is total. Copy this. Paste this right here. Now let's go ahead and test our program on our script. Enter the food to buy. Let's say pizza. Enter the price of pizza. Let's say 3.5. Enter the food to buy. Let's say soda. Enter the price of soda. Let's say 4.2. Enter the food to buy. Let's say chips. Enter the price of chips 1.99. Hit enter, and this time around we're gonna quit. Q to quit. All right, as you can see right here, we have our cart. We have pizza, soda, chips, and our total is $9.69. Let's actually try to print this list of food in a straight line. So let's come over here. To do that, right here, when we are printing our food, we can simply use comma and say end is equals to, and we're going to provide just a space like so. All right, now if you go ahead and run our script again, enter the food to buy, soda, enter the price of soda, 4.5, enter food to buy, popcorn, enter the price of popcorn, 3.99, enter food to buy, pizza, enter the price of pizza, 2.00, and hit enter. Enter the food to buy. We're gonna quit, and here we have our card for soda, popcorn, pizza, and our total is $10.49. Alright, so friend, that's all about creating a shopping cart using list, and this exercise is basically meant to practice our list lessons. So I hope you enjoyed the exercise, and I will see you in the next one.